Hi, I'm Madison, and in this video I'm going to teach you this. Okay, so I'm going to teach you that flourish that you've just seen. It looks difficult, but it's not. Like the trick, the deception is in making this look difficult by the way that you move your hands rather than the way you move the playing cards. That makes sense once I've taught you the thing and once you've got used to it. So let's look at the mechanics first, and then we'll talk about how to make it look pretty and how to make it look quite difficult. So here's the flourish in slow motion. And I've taught elements of this before, and that even messed up because I'm doing it slowly. I've taught elements of this before in different things. So, so I've taught this before. And I think I called this butterfly, something that I did with, we start again, something that I did with Theory 11. And it's a very simple thing, and the point of me sharing this is that it proved that you didn't need to have 7 different pockets to do a good flourish. Like, this is just 3 pockets that seem to be moving independently of each other, and they don't need speed to be appreciated, they just need the movement. And I think that's why it was called butterfly, because it looks like 2 flapping wings, or 2 wings that flap separately. So the first part of this is, let's just call it butterfly, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was called that. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold the deck from above like this, and underneath you're going to go, and finger 3 is going to hit the corner here, the back corner, and the thumb is going to hit the opposite corner, so the diagonal corner, and you're going to break that packet off completely. Now, the bottom of the deck where I have the 3 diamonds, this corner, the back corner where the base of my palm is going to connect. So essentially I'm going to do this. This is the deck's here. I'm going to break this way. See, I've got that grip so that I can do this. This is important for the flourish. This is one part of the flourish, is the deck. This packet is gripped between the thumb and finger 3, and finger 1 can make it rotate. So imagine the deck's here, I get that grip, instantly I've got that grip now before I've even started. So if I lift the deck up with 10 cards, I can just spin around like this. I got more than 10 then, but it doesn't have to be 10, just a small packet that you can spin like this. So learn this first, get a grip between the thumb here and the finger here, take a small packet, and then with finger 1, learn how to spin this packet. Very easy, you're not having to do too much, very simple. And you're only spinning it once, so in essence, like the finger 1 is going 1, 2, and that's a full spin. So it's very simple when you break it down. So that's the first part that's happening, 1, 2. Second part that's happening with this packet, with the rest of the deck, once I've got this grip in position, this packet is pressing back right here so that I can do this. And notice finger 3 on this corner. Now I'm going to break off about the same amount of cards, so about 10 cards between this point and finger 3, just like this. So I have a small packet now, just here and here. So now when I break the bottom packet off first and then instantly break this off, so now finger 2 is connecting to this packet just here. Now I can do this. There's math, I'm going to leave those there. Finger 2 can do this. If I pull back, I get here. And then if I bring it around, now I can straighten up and go back. There's another thing to practice. So I'm going to break off first here, and then I'm going to break here, spin, spin. This is very, very similar to a tornado cut, if anybody knows what that means. So at the same time, I'm in a position now where I can do this, 1, 2, 1, 2. 2. Very, very same position. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm in the same position and nothing's affected by those two things happening. So if you can learn those two separately, individually, 1, 2, 1, 2, then you can get yourself into a position where you can do this. Do them both at the same time. You'll notice something different happening now if you're following along. I am still doing 1, 2, and I'm still doing 1, 2. The difference when I start moving to the side and doing them at the same time is that middle pocket is going like this. It's going 1, 2, and it's going over the top. It still feels like two movements, and it really is, but when you're doing it, it'll start to feel like one movement. So now I do this. If you watch slowly, I break the bottom packet off, I break this, and now I go 1, I lean it away from the deck, I go over here, 1, doesn't matter, I'm gonna do this with fucking 20 cards, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go 1, 2, and this is gonna go 1, 2. And notice how that pocket spins over to the top. Now if you do those at the same time, 1, 2, this pocket, the middle pocket, finds its own way of spinning around the whole time. It's only the bottom pocket that needs kind of guidance to spin around fully twice. The middle pocket seems to just work its way around to the top on its own. Like I don't really need to do anything. So that is lesson 1, which is butterfly. Like notice the difference also between there and there, how much I'm reaching out and stretching. And I'm only doing that to give each pocket its own space so that they don't get caught anywhere and they don't get trapped anywhere and cards don't fall down just like they have done. So step 1 is this, 1, 2. Step 2 is this, 1, 2, lands on the top. Do those both at the same time, 1, 2, 1, 2. And now at this point, the bottom packet goes back to where it started, but the middle packet has no choice. It has to go back on top. Once you've done a full spin, try getting that back to the middle without doing this. Doesn't make sense. That's why you've got to just let it happen. Naturally it goes back to the top, and that is the first part of this whole process, which is butterfly. Kind of happens by itself. You're just spinning those two packets and they land wherever they choose. So that first part is called butterfly. Learn this first, and now we can move on to the second part of this. Okay, so we now know butterfly, which is this. Very simple, very slow flourish. 3 packets seem to move individually. Learn this. So now we're going to move on to the next stage. So you execute butterfly, and at this stage right here, you will notice fingers 1 and 3 of the right hand are hooked onto the back of what's going to become the top packet. It was the middle packet, but it's going to become the top packet. Add pressure at this point with finger 1 and allow the rest of that packet to return to the top. Here's what happens. The top card slides forward like this, and the rest jumps back to the deck. But instead of letting it land on the deck, I'm going to clip it with my thumb like this, and I'm going to take it away. Now I'm left with this weird situation where I've got the playing card here still trapped, and I've got this situation. So I'm going to take this packet because it feels natural. I'm just doing what feels right. So I'm going to allow this packet to go where it wants to go, which for me naturally seems like it wants to go down here. And then I now have to deal with this card, with this situation. So for this to make sense, I'm going to do it again from the beginning. So we do butterfly, and we get to this position, and this packet's going back to where it wants to. And now this card I can control with finger 1 right there. Finger 1's going to control it, and it's going to pull it back. It's a little bit weird to slow down and show you, so I'm going to start again. This card is now going to pull back. It's going to press down on this packet, there's nothing else holding it there other than finger one. I'm going to pull it all the way to the back like this. Now, stretchy fingers helps. You don't need stretchy fingers really. You don't really need it. But the reason it's back here, this packet has now been pulled back by the thumb crutch into this position. I'm going to let this packet fall. Now, if you want to do a Charlier cut, which looks like this, if you want to do that, then good for you. Good for you! If you want to do that, good for you. But at this position, I like to do this. So I'm here. This card pushes forward. This packet is taken into the thumb crutch, which is weird. And then let's forget about this for now. And then here my thumb comes up and I'm going to do a revolution. A Brian Tudor revolution and complete. So once that's taken into the thumb crutch, you do that again. So butterfly, take the card, thumb crutch, catch this packet, revolution, close. That's his hand finished. Everything's done in this hand for now. Now I'm left with this situation. So let's go over that again. Butterfly, card comes over. This packet goes over the top. I catch on the thumb. I do a revolution, which looks like this. Thumb, finger one, finger three grabs this packet at the back. There's a spin, puts it to the bottom. As that's happening, then everything in this hand starts going to play, which looks like this. So here we are. Butterfly, card forward, revolution. As the revolution's happening, finger one pulls this card all the way to the back. Just as that closes, finger one here is gonna do this. He's just gonna kick. I'm just gonna kick that card. I'm gonna kick it all the way over the edge of the deck, and you have to just kind of let it go. Like, don't try and control it. Just bring it back here, and then flick finger one forward at the same time. Kick your wrist. The card spins off and lands here, and then I close, and that's the end of the flourish. So let me do the flourish quite slowly so you can kind of follow along. The card slides off and then slides back. See the revolution, and then flick, and then the deck goes on top. I know I said it was easy from the beginning. Maybe you don't know these techniques such as the revolution and other things I've been doing, but from where I stand, this is a fairly simple thing. And if you're new to this and you can't do this, then maybe it's a good message that I'm giving to get into cardistry and learn these simple things. What cardists deem to be simple things. We're gonna go over it again. If I've lost you, then goodbye. If you're still here, thank you. I'm gonna go over it again. Butterfly, card kicks forward. This is the most difficult part, I think. This is why I'm paying a lot of attention to this. Revolution, card comes back over the edge. Just as this closes, I want to be kicking this card. Now, I can give it a lot of spin if I want. Like, I can really kind of, like, I try and get it high up. Like, if you try this with just a deck of playing cards, like from the bottom card, for example, you pull and then just kind of flick, get it onto the edge, like here, and then just flick. You kind of learn what that process is about when you get to this position. Turn here, cards in place. There's only one place that I can put this. There's only one thing I can do with it. In my logic, all I can do is kind of kick it, and it flies, and then I close the deck, and then the flourish is finished. So the full flourish looks like this, and done. It's a very simple process of small, simple steps. I'm not sure how to make it any easier, how to make it feel any easier. The mechanics themselves, maybe just watch this video over again a few times. But what I was saying from the start, it is very simple. What makes this look more impressive is the way that I move my hands. So if you watch it without the hand movements and without the body movements, if I just do the basic thing, which looks like this, if I do that, it's boring, it's uninteresting, there's no style, there's nothing to it. If I put some flair into that, not with the way I handle the deck, I'm still handling the playing cards exactly the same, but I'm going to start moving my wrists and moving my body and moving around from side to side with the camera, with the eyes, with the people that are watching this. So do the same thing again and start moving around, start moving my body and changing the angles and making a card come from a different position, and then ending differently as well. Like you can't really decide where the flourish is going to end. Like now I just got 2 cards, but I'm going to run with it. I picked up 2 playing cards then that flew off. I'm just going to run with it. I'm going to go back here over this side. This hand's going to go all the way over here. I'm going to kick forward and then I'm going to go peace. You know, it's all about the attitude and the way that the confidence you put into it. And that's what kind of sells a flourish, I think. Anybody can do a Sybil. Not everybody in the world can do the kind of Sybil that I do. Like this, for example, I just did it then without, subconsciously, I just kind of did a cool version of this flourish without even trying, without even thinking about it. So I went over here, and this card that's going to kick, I went under my arm and kicked it over the top. The mechanics and everything that happens is the same. You can do a chalet cut like this, or you can really put some spin into it and make it look cool. I made it look terrible, but you could do this, or you could go and make it look cool. I do the same thing. Here's an interesting lesson in the knuckle cut, the K cut, which looks like this, with a pop out too. So here's a K cut with a pop out. I can't do it slowly, I have to do it kind of fast. So K cut, pop. Now here's how I do it differently to make it kind of stand out. The hand goes upside down like this. I come back side to side and then pop out. I'm doing exactly the same thing. All I'm doing is this and then a pop out. This shows you how often I do it straightforward. I don't do it, I find it difficult. If I start throwing it around upside down and all over the place, then I can make it look cool. I can add, not cool, cool's an old word, but you know, I can make it look more interesting. So one thing that you can apply to any flourish, not just this one, is instead of just doing the flourish for what it is, just following the mechanics, put some personality into it, put some life into it, breathe it all over the place, like really rip it apart and show what you can do with it and be cool with it and be confident. I think confidence is the word. This is probably the longest YouTube video that I've done in this style in teaching, so I'm sorry if I wasted your time, but there you go. That is THIS Flourish, and I am Daniel Madison.